Today we talk Philando Castile. Today we talk Philando Castile, Bill Cosby, Steve Scalise, Iliza Shlesinger, Black Kim K, and more on today's Headlines with Headliners.
Okay. I understand what's about to happen right now.
Yeah.
You understand Headlines with Headliners?
Yeah.
People get mad because I'm talking money.
Oh.
Don't you understand that it damn thing funny? Being broke is a joke, then you won't find me funny. And every other time you see me, my nose so sick, I stay running. I missed a bit. I tried to do too much.
Like you let go of the beat right there.
I let go. Well, I was thinking of something real quick.
Turn me up in my headphones.
Yo, turn
Don't
you
really
up.
do it. I just did it myself. You know what I'm saying?
I was doing something real quick.
If I'm lying, I'm dying. I swear to God, I'm still trying. I'm in the building and you know I'm getting it live. I'm with the Black Hollywood and I'm getting my shine. I'm in the building and you know that I am like Shine. John, Polo, I'm rocking that gear. I'm in the motherfucker. Yep, and this is my gear. I got Joelle and Tehran sitting here. We about to get the show cracking. You know what we do? It's about to go down. Nigga, buckle your shoes or tie them up, lace them, whatever you do. Hey.
Did you drop an MF, bro?
We cuss on here now.
Yeah, but we don't MF. We don't MF. MF is
this is
MF is a thing.
If it's a lyric, you're good.
Oh, if it's a lyric, it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go back to me.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm rapping all the headlines today, so.
Nigga, crack.
Oh my God, cut them off. All right. Welcome to Headlines with Headliners, beautiful people. Thank you for tuning in. With me today.
I am Tehran, literally at I am Tehran, all across the social atmosphere. I am Tehran, even though I am exhausted today. I'm so tired, bro. It is craziness.
That sounds like excuses. I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique and every week at blackgirlnerds.com.
That sounds like an excuse.
And I'm Nate Jackson, at Mr. Nate Jackson on all the social media. Check out my website, NateJacksonComedy.com. NateJacksonComedy.com. Whole bunch of dates have just been updated. Somebody hit me and said, your calendar don't got nothing on it. I was like, oh, let me fix that. So, yeah, come to a show. I'm also going to be announcing a show.
Aren't you in Germany?
Yeah, I'm going to Germany the 29th through the 3rd.
Nice.
It's going to be good times. It's there's a bunch of people over there that are there for military, but some of them have gotten out and they are now promoters. So a friend of mine who I met while he was serving in the military at Fort Lewis McChord in Washington State is now stationed there, and he was like, I'm doing this thing, and I want you out here. I was like, let's talk money. He talked it, and I'm going to Germany.
That's what's up. That's a great look. I actually really respect, especially people who serve and thankful for their service, but the people who serve overseas and then become acclimated to the places they are and become productive over there. And they have aspirations outside of the military. And they start following their dreams and passions outside of the military. And it's wonderful to see that.
Yeah, and this is cool for him because he was really struggling to balance the two because he was already kind of stepping his toe into promoting, you know, up until 4 a.m. after a club night he was promoted, and then having to be at PT for 6:30 is ridiculous. But now he's out and he's doing his thing. Dude speaks like 7 languages now because of all the places he's been stationed abroad. Crazy, right?
It's good for him. You know, there was a time actually where I considered going into military service.
Doing
Out
what?
of high school. No, I really was like, I would have went to college, done officer candidacy school, and then went into the military. Because I think there's something noble about the military that we kind of forget nowadays. Because it's so easy to have this vision that military are warmongers. They're not. They're people who protect and serve our country to the utmost degree, who are following orders in the name of justice and liberty. And unfortunately, sometimes justice and liberty are brought to you by corporations and political agendas.
So is that why you didn't join?
No, actually, I just didn't join once they started telling me all the stuff I'd have to do.
That's what I was saying. Like, whose orders are you following,
I just
John?
wanted
Come
to
on
be
now.
general off the
Yeah,
bat.
that's
Like,
what
I
I'm
thought you
saying.
go to officer candidate school.
Easy
They
trying
realize
margin at 2 in the
how
morning.
brilliant you are. They'd be like, you, sir, are a military goddamn genius.
They have
And
to
they
break
just
you down
gave
and
me-
rebuild you first.
I would have
That's never
never.
gonna work.
I wouldn't have let them.
Right. Now you wear a robe every day.
And now I just wear a bathrobe every day.
I feel like that's definitely contrasting lifestyles. So what's going on, man? What you got?
Well, I mean, of course, we have shows every Monday and Thursday at the Laugh Factory, every Friday and Saturday at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach. We're going back on tour, so tour dates are coming to my website, www.imtehran.com. And we have another headline show that's going to be coming up as soon as we can coordinate dates, because the last one was a blast.
Had a great time.
The last one was a little too fun. And Joelle came in, part of the audience, and I feel like Joelle
sat there trying not to laugh.
I really did, though.
You did.
I was going to make you guys earn it.
Especially when I was up. You were not trying. And you had to, you
cracked me once, so it was too good.
Yo,
it was funny.
There's things. And I feel like you got to feel for what we do on stage, not just off stage. So.
I feel like as a comedian, people should see us in our world, in our space. Then we do business.
Sure, but that's because each of us as comedians, this isn't just headlines with headliners for no reason. So even though, for example, Joelle Monique is not a headlining comedian, if you actually read her articles and watch her database of shows, you realize that she is a headliner. She headlines those shows. And she actually has comments and commentaries, and she's actually very funny, even though she's a nerd and a loser.
This is recorded. I'm so excited, guys. This is my new ringtone.
Did we remember that she's a nerd and a loser?
Joelle ain't no goddamn
nerd is such a
headliner.
positive word to me.
I'm drawing the line.
He's not taking nerd for me.
She ain't no goddamn headliner.
But you know what? If you read her,
she's good at what she does.
If you read
but
her
she's
blog,
not a headliner.
If you read her blog, honestly, she is, and it's just a different way. So you know the concept of the spoken word, funny, almost Amanda Seales-ish. She has a quality like that. She has a quality like that where her headlining isn't on stage. She performs it on paper.
I champion that style. And you as a person.
I'm not a comedian. It's okay, Nate.
But you ain't no motherfucking comedian.
That's fair. Okay, I'm really not.
We draw the line.
If you haven't spent any time in the trenches in the dungeon, I'm not. No, you can go comic, but you're not going comedian.
Okay.
She's a headliner in her own right, in her world.
In her own wrong.
Yeah. So
in her own wrong, she is a headliner.
Which is why I was unbeknownst to everyone at home, but only people here. I was an advocate for Joelle being on the show.
Yes.
For a long time. I was pushing because I really feel like she brings a special something to the show.
I tell you, she's about to bring something special right now.
Because she's about to sing.
Let's get an R&B instrumental queued up.
Can we get an R&B instrumental?
Are you capable of going a cappella?
I feel like she is.
What?
I feel like that gives you freedom. You can't mess
You want a headline, right? You want to be a headliner, right? You better start singing.
Here we go. We're going a cappella.
You better sing for Massa.
Let it happen. Look away. She can't handle eyes on her.
I hate you so much. Don't do that. Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'm really not a singer.
It's okay. I got your back. Let's go.
Okay. All right. You're not going to know this one, though. Is that okay?
Still got your back.
Okay. We still can
it's
do it.
It's going to have a melody.
It has something.
Your neighbors were screaming, I don't have a key for downstairs. So I pushed all the buzzers, hoping you wouldn't be there. And now my head's hurting. You say I always get my own way.
That's what you say.
But you were in the shower when I got there, and I wanted to stay, but I got nothing to say. You were so beautiful before today. But then I heard the words you said.
You said, bitch, get the fuck out of my house.
That was ugly.
Why are you staring at me in the shower?
Bra you bought me last Christmas.
Yeah.
Put it in the box. Frank's in there and I don't care. Put it in the box.
Hey.
Now take it. Take the box.
Oh, you can take this
Take
box.
the box.
Take the box. Yay.
Hey, I don't even think that's a song. I think that's just her look. You know what? Ever since Joelle
That's an original
Monique
song by Joelle Monique.
No, that's Amy
Take the
Winehouse.
box.
Take the box?
Yes.
Take the box?
Of stuff that I don't want from your shit anymore.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what she meant.
Song.
Yeah, it was.
Black Hollywood Live.
She meant take the box. Yeah.
There it is. Exclusive.
We were giving away.
Exclusive. The views shared on this show are not necessarily the views of Black Hollywood Live.
I don't know. Black Hollywood Live might condone.
They might condone the box being given to them, but taking it, I don't know.
You can just take the
Be
box.
honest with you. I feel like a
yours.
lot of people can sing outrageous things, and as long as it's a song, people will go with it. because somebody walked into that person's house while they were taking a shower and just washed them and then told them to take the box of stuff.
The Weeknd gets away with that all the time. I don't think girls actually listen to The Weeknd's lyrics.
They must not.
While they sing along.
Is he outrageous?
Sexy.
So
The Weeknd will be
outrageous.
like, ooh, lick my butthole. Hold all night with your friend. And, and girls will be like, yeah, girl, let's
Singing
bring
it.
your friend. And they listen, The Weeknd is outrageous. Like he sings songs about how you're not even the side chick. You're the chick I call at 5 a.m. when I'm out of chicks to call and just wasting out my mind. You're at that time, if I accidentally butt dial you, then I'll fuck you. And that's like a song. That's actually the title of that song.
Yeah. Then I'll fuck you.
No, it's actually called If I'm Wasted Out My Mind, then I'll fuck you.
Got it.
You forgot that.
There's old school songs that are like that. Like
Jodeci used to do that, but Jodeci had flavor when they did it.
Jagged
Jodeci-
Edge.
Jagged Edge.
They have a song called Let's Get Married,
but it's amazing.
in which
is.
they say, we ain't getting no younger, we might as well do this.
Yeah.
That's real.
Nobody proposes like that.
Yeah, but
Like, look at those crow's feet
Some
and gray
people
hairs. You
do.
might as well just say
It
yes.
sounds like something I would say. Actually,
I
I'm
feel like when
pretty
my
sure
dad
I've
hit
said
30,
that.
he was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know what?
And
I'm
you're
not
not
trying
married.
to look for
Didn't
other
work.
people. So I feel like that happens.
No, I give that advice to girls all the time. I give that advice to girls. Well, it's not me. Listen, here's the problem with the world. I didn't invent the world. I didn't invent the rules of the world. I didn't invent misogyny. But if we try to act like it doesn't exist, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. We have to work within the confines and then break it once we get there, once we are in
makes
play.
sense.
And I really feel that way. And I feel that way in the minority world too. Someone today hit me up and was like, I can't believe it. White people never acknowledge what we go through and the strife and this and that. And I was like, well, maybe we need to stop asking for their acknowledgement. Maybe that's us giving them power and empowering them improperly by saying, look at us, please. Look, you're not mommy or daddy. We don't need your attention. We'll do our own thing. You don't want to give us an Academy Award? You don't want to give us an Academy Award? Then we'll do BET Awards and actually make that one count. But we decide not to. So I feel the same way when it comes to misogyny.
And shout out to Russell Simmons for doing the All Deaf Music Awards too.
Exactly.
Movie Awards, excuse me.
And I appreciate
Even
people-
though it was literally designed to be a mockery, it's still a noble gesture.
And that's the thing. We need more of that, especially given
Yeah,
that
they gave out an award for best edges. Like
They
they
did.
were like, y'all don't want to award us? We're gonna have the most ratchet.
Are you
Tell
serious?
me.
I didn't hear about this.
Yes.
This is
This
like
is beautiful.
third or fourth year's coming up.
It's a
It's
real
Damn,
deal.
that's
And
amazing.
all-star studded too. All-star studded.
Mm-hmm.
Who wouldn't want to show
Celebrities
off
come
that?
out.
I fully agree. I was talking to Hilliard Guest on his podcast today, and we were talking about how do we. I don't know if you guys follow like
we don't.
movie Twitter, but several white female directors said some problematic ass shit over the weekend about whether The Color Purple was still relevant in film, about whether they could fit the viewpoints of black women within their films, and a bunch of other stuff. And basically, we were having this conversation about whether or not there was a way to engage with white people if we wanted to engage. And I was like, dude, why? Like, if you can't remember that The Color Purple exists, a film by Steven Spielberg, grossed $94 million in like 84, 85 when it came out, then you're not going to remember anything great. Like, you don't have the retention for it. And that's fine. Black people can continue to celebrate it and enjoy it in that capacity. I have to reach out.
Yeah.
I love Whoopi Goldberg.
She's amazing.
Tupac opened at $27 million
It
in
did,
one
but
weekend.
I've heard it's horrible. I haven't seen it.
not
I don't want
horrible,
to
it's
judge
great.
it. You
Go
thought
watch
it was
it.
good?
Yeah, I
I'm
did.
gonna watch it. I've heard so many bad things about it, and it's like
People
because
are-
you think it's straight out of Compton. It's not straight out of Compton. It's a different story of a different person. A lot of people aren't feeling the guy who acted it.
That's whack. I thought he did dope.
He did well. I mean, I respect
come
your opinion, but I'll
20-some years
after.
after Pac's passing, and to be in his 20s and never met him, to not know, and to do the study and to do the work, I think he did a great job. He looked like him. There's points in the movie where you're like, nigga, that's Pac. You know what I'm saying?
What did you think of Jada's comments?
I think that there's certain things you got to speak careful on because of people's
What's
stature
Jada's
in
comments?
the industry.
Do you want to talk about Jada's comments? What
Jada
they were-
said that in a tweet, she said that the movie has inconsistencies in it because he did not read her a poem,
He didn't.
and she never walked into a green room and talked to him after.
She never,
a
and
concert.
she also never went to one of his concerts. She said she never went to one of his concerts per his request. And And my thing to Jada is that's someone who's actually close to Pac. I can't imagine.
And she said that they weren't intimate in Baltimore.
I can't imagine what it's like to see someone that you know intimately, whether physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, be portrayed on screen. And so there's always going to be inconsistency. To Jada Pinkett Smith, who's a wonderful, beautiful, amazing person, and her family I revere. Bitch, it's not a documentary. That's, you know what I'm saying? You knew that. Like, this isn't Tupac on Discovery Channel. You know what I'm saying?
There's been some discussion as to whether the crew reached out to her for like commentary, and if
Have you seen it?
I have not seen the film yet. I'm
How about
curious
since I'm the only one that has seen it, I'll give my 2 cents.
Get it?
Dig this. 1, Tupac has a rhyme book that was actually produced for the public to see.
Yes.
In that book, the poem to Jada was in there.
Yes.
The same way. They even drew on it the same way he originally did. So in the film, when you see it, it's like, yo, that might be the original. They have a scene where he reads it to her on a dock at a lake. She's upset because it happened in person. But it didn't happen in person. I guess he gave her the poem. It's a movie. We need to see the scene. So she can relax on that. Furthermore, the actress that portrayed her was phenomenal. He read this poem to her, and it broke her down. It was a lovely poem. And the girl cried. A single tear came out of her eye. Her eye welled up. Check it out. Her eye welled up. It was this eye. Her eye welled up, and then the tear, and she blinked, and the tear ran down her face. And even though she was like, you know, with tear of joy and love, their relationship was talking smack to each other back and forth all the time. So instead of being sad or showing weakness, while the tear runs down her face, she's like, "Shut up, big head," or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I had not seen that choice in film yet.
That's what's up.
Jada should be happy that the actress that portrayed her was one of the stronger actresses in the film.
I think Jada did at the top of her Twitter storm basically say, like, I don't blame the actors. Like, you all did a phenomenal job, but I'm upset because this is an important part of my life, and it wasn't portrayed in a way that was accurate.
Well, I don't see Overbrook trying to produce it. So, another point, in regards to her not coming to a concert, that was supposed to have been a phone call, but we want to see the scene.
We need to, as a viewer.
And Tupac in the movie, whether he did in real life or not, showed so much respect for her. He was literally covered in bitches. Not women, not examples of finer womanhood. After concert bitches.
They're all women.
Literally, they were female
I'm
dogs
talking about,
that were just covering.
Yeah, it was like a Rottweiler, a pit bull.
He had 2 Chihuahuas. He was holding them up like,
I'm gonna say what I said. And then ladies watching this, all women don't be acting the same, and there's different titles for certain stuff. I respect women. But in this scene, the women portrayed themselves in a way that didn't demand respect. On purpose, because when Jada walked in, Tupac told all of them to get off of him, get away from him, and gave her the floor by herself. He showed her the utmost respect. So Jada can't be that mad. It's not like she was laying on top of him with 4 other chicks. He told everybody to get up off of him. So all these little naked girls got up off of him, and Jada came in fully clothed with her hair slicked back. Lastly,
yes,
7 to 8 years in production is how long this film was. Right? Other people a part of the film or that were depicted in the film showed up, watched it with the intent to destroy it, tear it down, and were pleasantly surprised, pleased, and told L.T. Hutton he did a phenomenal job. Hey, for instance, Snoop says it's phenomenal. How about I voice my character so it's even more believable that it's me because it sounds like me. So Snoop is his voice in it. Real Snoop is the voice of the Snoop actor in the film.
That's amazing.
ADR.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And that means Jada had the opportunity at some point text, tweet, email,
see the movie and
pull up.
But she might just be pulling like an Olivia de Havilland who, when Feud came out on FX earlier this year, Olivia's the only one of those people that's still alive, and she was like, I don't want to comment on this film. No one here is alive to defend themselves.
Oh,
and I don't think it's appropriate.
De Havilland?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck. So listen,
this is a classic actress from the 20s.
Yeah. So spoiler alert.
I'm not gonna act like she's irrelevant. Just because I don't know her doesn't mean she wasn't important.
Spoiler alert: Tupac dies at the end of the film. I just want to.
That's
So in case you were gonna watch it, I
That's
ruined it
whack,
for you.
Tehran. You're better than that.
Sorry,
How many
guys.
times was that in an Instagram
I
or tweet
ruined it. I
post?
ruined it for everybody.
Jesus.
So
Anyway, so I feel like Jada could have asserted herself at a much earlier point. The timing is piss poor. If anything, wait a month after the movie's out.
She did do them dirty.
She did it like while people were buying she waited like I'm gonna drop this on their
The
sales.
day of.
That's whack.
Well-
That's absolutely whack. Furthermore, I know she must have seen it early because it's not like they don't send mailers out. Like everybody who's alive that was in this, you guys all have the opportunity to see how you're depicted first. LT's not a slimy dude. He's a great dude.
He's a
solid
great guy.
dude from the shot.
True.
And she just shorted it. Same thing with John Singleton coming out hating and all that, and Benny Boom having to pick up the pieces and put it together. It was art, and it was great.
Apparently John Singleton wanted like some prison rape scene.
Yeah, I don't know how you heard that.
Tupac.
Oh, on okay, no, that was on. He said that on Breakfast Club. LT did that.
I actually did not watch The Breakfast Club.
Somebody told you that then.
I know John Singleton.
Okay.
He wanted to have this prison rape scene.
He wanted.
I'm not gonna break. We're not gonna. I'm sure there was a nicer, more political, diplomatic way to put that together.
Yeah.
But he was really all about this prison rape scene. I don't know
He
why.
wanted a prison rape scene.
He felt like Tupac got prison raped, and then this was going in the movie.
So there's a prison rape scene, and there was also something
John's a
at the
little
top
crazy.
of the movie, almost like a cold open, that was just bananas.
I mean, I don't know.
That
What
also had like naked men and stuff on the screen.
John.
So they
Amazing.
had,
Crazy.
but it just goes to say, if John is a director and then the producers have an issue and they bump heads, this is how this happens.
Sure.
So usually that's enough to derail a movie entirely. They reattached a different director, pushed through, got it done.
Benny Boom. Benny Boom's acclaimed. I mean, he worked with all.
I feel like it's dope. Everybody needs to put their eyes on it. You can't consider yourself a movie goer, person. Like if this touched you in any way, if you ever bobbed your head to pot, you owe to get down there.
Do it for the culture.
Yep.
Spoiler alert.
Tupac dies in the end. All right.
Yeah,
Story
no.
number one.
Puff does it. Did anyone drop that on Instagram? No.
Actually, Diddy's not in the movie at all.
Yeah.
Not with Biggie, not by himself. Diddy's not in the movie at
Is
all.
Jones in the movie at all?
Who?
Quincy or not Rashida, but
Kibibi?
oh yeah,
Quincy Jones' daughter?
yeah,
Yes.
good.
To the point that their relationship was way stronger than I thought it was in the first place. I thought it was like I thought Tupac was dating her in real life, and it was just like she's got money.
Their love is the
Power
inspiration.
couple.
Was Faith in the movie?
Yeah.
That's all I need to know to go and watch that. That's
Faith
why I
in the
fucked
movie.
your bitch, you fat mother.
That's in it too.
Yo, because that's look, I'm from the East Coast.
Yeah.
The Biggie Pac thing was very real. Even for us in high school and middle school, we thought it was so serious. The only Tupac song, listen, I like Tupac songs. I'm not gonna be like, oh, but Tupac, everyone's like, oh, I was all about Biggie. But when he dropped Fake Money, bruh, that was the best Tupac song. I used to love that song.
Yeah.
Because at the end, he's just
Hit 'em
like,
up.
my fo, hit him up. He was like, my fo, make sure your kids die. So it's like, Mob Deep, don't one of y'all have sickle cell? Like, it was just so.
One just died from sickle cell.
soon,
Dang.
So sad.
Wait a minute. Prodigy just passed away. Like, he's
Yo.
still there. And they haven't even put the sheet over his head. Tehran.
But when he said
I know
that,
people say it too soon,
Yo.
but damn.
yo,
The doctor's like, and call it. What's the time? And you're already
don't want y'all.
you're already
I
bedside
guess-
like, you're dead. Like, good
I guess
God.
you did have sickle cell.
Jeez.
I guess you did have sickle
Your
cell.
point is moot now because you said that. Story number one.
Yes.
Let's handle some business in here.
Yes.
This is wordy. Bear with me.
It's real though.
I hate these stories. In an all too familiar turn of events on Friday, a Minnesota jury acquitted Officer Geronimo Yanez of all charges in the 2016 shooting and death of Philando Castile, whose shooting and aftermath in front of his baby daughter was immortalized by his girlfriend on Facebook Live. In what is believed to be the first time a Minnesota officer was charged in an on-duty fatal shooting, the jury hinged on one central question: did the officer have fear that Philando Castile was reaching for a gun that he had acknowledged having with him when he was pulled over by the officer? In response to the acquittal handed down by the 12-member jury, which included 2 black jurors, Castile's mother said, I'll say it like it says, Castile's mother stated, "My son loved this city, and this city killed my son." There you go.
And interesting part was there was a holdup, 10-2. They deliberated. The holdup was not the 2 black jurors, which, first of all, why are there only 2 black jurors on that jury? Number one. That's poor duty and diligence by the prosecutor. Clearly, you are supposed to be judged by a jury of your peers. 2 black jurors does not compile the diversity in Minnesota. But if nothing else, there should have been like 18 Somalians on that jury.
There's a lot of Somalians.
That's too many people in the jury.
It doesn't matter. When they were trying
There's that many Somalians outside of court.
That's what I'm saying. There's that many Somalians in Minnesota. Number 2.
You know how many Somalians there are in Somalia? 2 jurors.
And that's it. There's only 2. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
They were like, "Look at me. I am the captain of Minnesota now. Look at me.
Go on there.
So
Look
wrong.
at me.
So wrong.
I'm the captain
Yo,
of Minnesota."
I thought
now.
I was the king of the too soon.
God.
But look, sure, he got fired from the police department. Big deal. The fact that he did not get convicted, and here's the thing, this is the problem. This was the best of the cases. Why? Because Eric Gardner, because the other cases, there was something, right? There was something. It was a criminal record, or it was possibility, or there was this in his pocket, or resisting arrest. But this time, there's a young man in the car, has nothing to do with the traffic stop, in the passenger seat. Police officer goes, so the young man does his due diligence, as far as we know, and explains, I have a gun, legal, and I am going to show you my license for this gun. Reaches for the weapon, as you're supposed to do, and gets shot cold blood in front of his baby daughter and his girlfriend like it's nothing. And the police officer says, I feared for my life. My problem isn't with the ruling. My problem is right now with the fact that all these gun owners in this country who always fight and support gun ownership and gun ownership rights, those same people are very, very quiet right now. And that's my biggest problem. The jury, I can understand when you go to a trial, the Facebook Live and all these things that you think are being admitted in a way that's in accordance with the law, and some of these things may be omitted, and you're not allowed to utilize them for your decision on the jury. I get it. But what about this aftermath? When you say things like all lives matter, let's go, guys. Let's go. All lives matter. This is life. It matters. When you say gun rights, gun fights, wow, woo, let's go. This was a gun. This was a card-carrying member of the NRA. Where are you all now? Where's that support now? What happened to that?
When Philando was shot, the bullet missed his daughter by like inches. Like she could have easily been hurt. When Philando was shot, his girlfriend had to remain calm and make sure that she did not pose an additional threat to the officer while her boyfriend is dying next to her. And it kind of starts bringing up questions with like the legal system. Like, so do you think it's possible to have a fair case here? Because we've seen so many officers tried, but not one conviction ever. And we know that prosecution works closely with the police.
There are convictions ever. Let's not take that. Let's take that myth
in
away.
deaths.
However,
right?
There are convictions. However, there are so few that they're countable. There's like 2.
Okay.
And the rest of all the officers have been acquitted completely.
So possible to get a fair conviction? Or...
So in Oscar Grant, for example, we did have a form of conviction. It was
Which was
very light. It was the sentence was a year. It was like
a year for life. Yeah, okay.
Manslaughter. It was, but there was a conviction. There's been a series of non-convictions. That's the problem. This isn't the first one. This is the latest
So my
one.
question still stands. Can the prosecution who works so closely with the police give consistently fair trials? Like, that's just got to be hard. As if you take the death and the horribleness of it, and even the institutionalized racism out of it, you have a person who works closely with an institution, both of whom believe their jobs to
I
be to
agree.
keep people safe and uphold the law. When you then make those two people face off against each other, essentially in a court of law, can we have...
There's a clear conflict of interest, 100%. In fact, in the last case, one of the jurors said the prosecutors dropped the ball. They specifically said the prosecutors did not carry the burden of proof.
This is the guy that was shot by the officer. The helicopter was up
Exactly.
there, and it was a white woman. Yeah.
Exactly. And they were like, well, they just didn't build their case. We wanted to convict, but the prosecution was unable to make their case. I agree. There's a conflict of interest. Do we need a federal system, a federal law that says, hey, when this is the situation, we need an IA, internal affairs, and a federally regulated one? Maybe. I would say yes.
Even internal affairs has issues because you're graduating from the organization, in which again you then have to turn around.
Deal with those
it's hard to figure out if we can have fair and balanced, just because people don't tend to be fair and balanced.
And the problem is, here's the thing. I love Law and Order SVU. Love
It's a
the
good show.
Love the show. However, I watch the show and I get so mad every time they infringe on people's constitutional rights.
That's fair.
I watch and I'm like, what? You can't do that. You can't. Wait. He's like, and IA comes in and everyone gets mad at IA, and I'm like, this is a mockery of the system which we are supposed to believe in, and it's on TV. They're explaining the fact that police officers clearly do not like IA. Why? Why wouldn't you want? You're the police, right?
I got a story I'm going to read.
You're
Okay.
the police. You should want the bad guys to go to jail.
This is from June 19th.
Okay.
Juneteenth.
Seattle police fatally shoot pregnant woman who
Yeah.
they say confronted officers with a knife. Seattle police officer shot and killed a woman at her apartment Sunday morning in front of several children when the woman, who relatives say was pregnant, confronted them with a knife, that's what the police say. She called the police to her house
Yes, because
because she was reporting a burglary.
Mm-hmm.
She had the knife out to protect herself. The police came, failed to identify themselves at first, so she still had the knife. They said, and she also was like maybe a $120, $110.
Maybe. Even pregnant, like she's a tiny woman.
Pregnant, tiny, had some mental health issues. They're trained to deal with this, and they still shot and killed her. Charlena Lyles,
Say her name?
30 years old. She made it to 30. So, yeah, it's not stopping. And
No. That's another thing. This is actually the best it's ever been. Because now we have phones and we have Twitter and we have Instagram and we have people like Nate Jackson and Tehran Von Ghasri and Joelle Monique to talk about this, and Kanisha Buss, who isn't here with us today but is here with us in spirit. We have us talking. So this is the best it's ever been.
I'll give you that because we're on duty.
It's the best it's ever been. Like, yeah, now it's only
the
20
Seattle
years.
NAACP has already begun steps to look into this. They already have secured attorney Scalise Crest, who has an incredible and impeccable record, and the Seattle Police Department is going to have to change their name to BLM because
they're shook.
they're about to get, and this is their fourth, and this is their fourth time.
Because they killed a pregnant woman. So that's actually the death of two people. And for everyone who's like, oh, no, it's only one person, I want all those anti-abortion people to come out and start protesting that.
Yeah,
too.
this is also the same department who punched the lady in the face, who was already handcuffed and on the hood and was not moving, was already holding still. So they've been had issues. They've had an FBI.
But that officer's name was Chris Brown, in all fairness, and her name happened to be Rihanna. Now, what happens?
Too
Karuchi
late.
just got out of court, y'all. Like, can we not with Chris Brown? Ugh.
Too soon, too late. We gotta get you right in that sweet spot.
I'm just saying. So the thing is,
But yeah, it's going down.
what do? Have you ever felt that? Like, what do I do? What do I do? Well, I have an answer to that. And one of the answers is, what you do is you be aware. What you do is you report things. People don't want to get involved. People don't want to take the time. They don't want to go to the police department and make a report. They don't want to be snitches. No. Now, this is the time where we need to stand up for our rights and know our rights.
Also, if you can get to know your local officers, it's harder in a big city. But like my friend works for Dispatch in Chicago, and she used to be a documentarian who's very like anti-police, and now working for them and understanding like what their issues are. She's like, there's a lot of things systematically we need to be doing in order to help these guys be better at their jobs. Mainly, we've seen a lot of issues with domestic violence abusers being able to get out easy, being able to get their hands on guns and cause all kinds of havoc. And it's because the court system does not keep them in prison.
Cool.
So the whole concept is instead of knowing all those little yachty verses, know your constitutional amendments.
I mean, you could learn the little yachty verses too. Like learn your constitutional amendments to the little yachty beat. Like lots of options.
In addition, I know that I have freedom of speech. I know that religion is a reach.
Right.
like a whole.
I can carry guns. I can carry guns.
That's the whole. That's
why all my friends are dead. Listen,
that's actually a little Uzi Vert, but
I could care less. All the littles are messing up music.
Yo,
but here she is, she's, look at her spirit.
Yeah.
Look at her spirit. Look at that smile.
Look at that bumblebee.
We're not talking about.
Okay.
We're not talking about like a toothless, vagrant, home.
Which again, it would not matter. Your value of life does not.
I understand, but I'm talking in the terms of the people who are looking at somebody and assessing whether or not they are a threat. This is, if you're assessing threats, what? Hot Cheetos and Takis?
She looks like she was on Brandy. Does no one else see her on Moesha? Mm-hmm. She was the friend?
Yeah.
I see it.
I mean, I'm just saying. Now.
And everyone liked the friend.
To the tune of what you're saying, it doesn't matter if she don't got teeth, if she don't got this, if you don't, like you still, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going to go to a place where a lady has called you, and then you shoot the leg. Here's a step I think would be cool. I think this will make sense. Because I keep hearing about different situations where the police show up to a residence or they come to a place where they've been called, and the person who called them is who they end up messing with, harassing, and or shooting in this case. How about you pull up the person's picture, because you guys have it, and you say, this is the homeowner. Then go in. And that's who you go speak to. Because stuff like this is ridiculous. Seattle is like, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a powder keg. It's a powder keg because it's already been bad. It's already, every night you go out, there's 50 cop cars out just prowling, judging, looking, trying to figure out who they're going to pull.
Is this new or
it looks like South Africa sometimes.
Well, you have the influx of white hipsters moving to Seattle because it's inexpensive to
live
there.
It's not inexpensive. It's sky high. It's as high or higher than LA.
These are not what my white friends tell me.
What they do now is in order to help support the gentrification of areas, they over police them. Mm-hmm. She wasn't even in that area.
Right.
But it makes for a really charged up police department. The FBI came in or the Justice Department came in and did a probe on the Seattle Police Department and said there are several things wrong here. And they're supposed to be taking the steps to fix it. The police chief resigned, new police chief came in, and then this happens. It's a powder keg. Like, you're probably going to see riots in Seattle in the next 2 days. Okay. That's how hot people are. And nobody's talking about her yet. She's still a Facebook meme. She's still getting talked about in statuses. The Washington Post just covered her on the 20th. I just read an excerpt from there. And even then, they were paraphrasing from people they spoke to at the vigil. Mm. So, there are some black people getting off. Story 2. And more acquittal news. The Bill Cosby case heard in Pennsylvania ended in a hung jersey as the jury deadlocked over the allegations presented by Andrea Costand, whose case had not passed the statute of limitations. The jury deliberations, which lasted 6 days, was ironic as the King, Mr. Cosby, defense lasted only 6 minutes. 6-minute defense. Cosby did not take the stand. Judge Stephen O'Neill declared a mistrial when the jurors could not come to a decision. A mistrial is not the same as an acquittal. As Montgomery County District Attorney Keven Steele immediately announced his intentions to retry the case. We have video
of Cosby walking out.
Let's watch him do an old man fist pump. I haven't seen this video yet. I just know
fist
pump
attorney
is due.
He did the Fat Albert, Nate.
He sure did.
How did you not? You didn't see that?
Nope.
He walked out and he did Fat Albert walking out.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
When was this?
This
literally
was
right after.
Right after.
No. What moment did this happen recently? Is this 1 day old,
Yes,
2 days old, 3
2
days
days
old?
old.
It's 2 days old.
It's the same day that
Go
the
to
announcement
Mr. Nate Jackson on Instagram, and by 7 p.m. today, there will be a roast on there about that ignorant ass. Hey. Okay. Oh, look at the picture they posted.
And that's the
Fucking
picture.
douchebag.
Here's the thing.
She drank it.
I will say whatever you want to say about Bill Cosby, whatever you want to say, that's secondary. Right now, I want to talk about the legal aspect.
I want to talk about
When-
and touch this on it because you have the law degree. What makes a jury be hung? A hung jury. What creates it?
So a hung jury is when the 12 jurors cannot come, even if one person's a holdout,
Right.
but refuses. It's like, listen, no matter what you guys say to me, I'm not going to change my mind. That becomes a hung jury. That happens. Okay? In this case, what happened was the brilliance of Cosby's defense, who everyone was mocking, not everyone, legal experts understood, but people were like, oh, they only defend him 6 minutes. 6 minutes. The case lasted 5 days, 6 days. They brought person after person. The concept was she went over there, Andrea, I believe her name is.
Yeah, Costa.
She went over there. He gave her Benadryl to relax. And then he didn't have sex with her, but he assaulted her sexually. Okay. The brilliance of the defense is the defense just did not defend Cosby's actions. They just simply said it was consensual and didn't put Cosby on the stand, something that most attorneys would have done to have him at least try to be Bill Cosby on the stand. They did none of that. They didn't really disagree with anything she said. They simply just said, everything she said, cool, it was consensual. And she's a whore. That's basically what they did on stand. No bullshit. They just try to ruin her reputation. She's a whore. She's a liar. And it was consensual. 6 minutes. And this is what happened. The juries, when it comes to this, the burden of proof is on the prosecution. Must prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the concept, right? Concept is it more likely than not? Is it very likely? Is it extremely likely? No. Is it beyond reasonable doubt that this is how it occurred? And the prosecution was
Not beyond a
unable,
reasonable doubt.
because
If I
it
was
had
on that
been too
jury, I'd be
long.
like, I still have doubt.
It's been
It's not beyond reason to think that maybe she gave that thing up to Bill Cosby.
It's 2005 and the details. And now here's the thing. She had gone in 2005 to the police. They had passed on the case. I mean, there was insurmountable evidence that states to the contrary of this hung jury that he did something happened. But what that something was, that's why it's very, very, very particular in what they charge you.
Right.
Because if they charge you with the wrong thing, you might get off. Which is why a lot of times they overcharge you.
Right.
Because they
give
just
you a
throw,
whole bunch of
they
stuff.
throw stuff and then something's going to stick.
Right.
Cosby has the finest legal defense
Sure does.
at his
Can we roll that clip
with his
back
money.
again?
His hey.
Oh, no. Yes, that clip, but that's not what we're looking for.
What clip?
The same clip. They got it.
Can you roll the clip back? Do you just want to see the attorney?
I do. Have you seen her?
Okay, let's get over
She's
that.
so smart and so pretty.
Okay, well,
You want to watch
And
it
she's
again just to watch a
defending the
lady walk
devil.
by?
If you saw her, you'd want her to walk by
well,
you
no.
again,
See,
too.
you say she's defending the devil, and a lot of
Yeah, I
people
do.
do that about the attorneys. But that is the American way.
That's her job. I'm not
And
mad at
the
her for it.
concept is, it's better that 100 guilty people go free instead of one innocent person.
I don't
found
think
guilty.
Bill Cosby's
Doesn't
the
happen.
devil.
I do. You don't have 60 people accuse
Do
you
you
of the
think-
exact same
Okay,
crime.
well, 60 people should have came before the statute of limitations, and then something could stick. Otherwise, it's potential for things to have actually been
but you
reasonable. to think
understand
they
do
why
think Bill
women
Cosby
don't
did it?
come
I,
forward,
I,
right?
Listen. Let me tell
Do
you
you
something.
think Bill Cosby did it? Your personal opinion.
Did what? With the Andrea Costa? No.
No,
Do I
any
think
of the-
that any of that stuff stuck? Some, yeah. But does that make him the devil? That's a lot.
I will tell you what makes him.
It's a lot. Does it make him a potentially sexual predator? Does it make him a nasty bastard? Does it make him a lot of things? Yes. The devil, Beelzebub, Lucifer. No.
Here's the thing about Lucifer. Lucifer is the trickster, right? And tricks people. That's what Bill Cosby did to us. In fact, he should win an Academy Award because his acting was amazing. I believed he was this good, kind-hearted, well-mannered,
Until
amazing person. Until accuser number 23, that's when I was like, this nigga did.
She was
Way
on
before
board.
that.
Accuser 2.
Way before
Sure.
that. I knew Bill Cosby was
It
an
took a lot
awful
for me.
human being. When I just sit in my white class with all these people and Bill Cosby talking about how sagging pants and like us not culturally respecting ourselves is the downfall of black people.
Sure, no, that's different. That's an opinion. You can't get mad at him because he has an opinion. And it's actually a very understandably valid opinion, especially coming from his perspective and point of view and generation. So it's not like our
call my
parents
granny
all
out
thought,
on it, too.
It's not like
Who?
we thought.
My granny, I'll call her straight out on this
Exactly,
bullshit too.
but that's the thing. That's of course our grandparents didn't want to sag in our pants, especially when it comes from jail culture. I understand that. No,
And
don't
another
look at
another
this.
point to this,
Yeah.
none of this stuff surfaced until rumors started to surface about him potentially buying NBC.
That's not true. That's
That's-
not.
no,
That's
no,
when
no, no.
people took action. But the
No,
women
no,
have
no,
been
no.
speaking about this shit since
That's
the 90s.
fine. That's fine. But it took action. First of all, the women have been speaking about it since the 90s. Then Hannibal Buress says something, and then all of a sudden this thing is
because
rolling.
misogynoir is a real ass thing.
That's fine too. I'm not saying it's not. What I'm saying is money and power have something to do with this.
Absolutely, but that doesn't mean he gets a write-off. Like, I don't care what brought
I didn't
it
give
to
him
the
a write-off.
surface.
I just said
I'm
he's
not
not
saying
the
that you
devil.
are. I'm saying that just because it took maybe some awful people with some awful intentions, like not
But I
for
want
the
you,
women.
if we're gonna talk about a thing, I want you to talk to me. I'm talking to you. I'm
Okay.
not talking at you towards the listener. I'm saying I don't think he's the devil, and you're the one that said that. Another thing
I think any man who attacks a woman can be equated to the devil. Absolutely.
that came out
What
faster
about
than I
any
could.
woman that attacks
what'd
a
you say?
man?
Well, any woman, yeah, if you're attacking people in a violent way, if you look, to me, I
What if
don't.
I'm into it?
Let me, okay. Consensual and consenting to being beat is entirely different than you, like, I don't have faith. What I know for sure is that you should have bodily autonomy, and any destruction or line crossing of that autonomy to me is synonymous with evil. Like, you only have your body. That's it. So any violation of that in any way, shape, or form to me is of the utmost, like, it's just disgusting.
The
And-
devil.
Yes, sir. Yes.
A lot of people are in hell.
I like
There's only one devil. Do you think he deserves to go to hell? Fine. The devil?
I feel like we were talking about a literal devil, whereas I don't believe in a literal devil, so I'm talking more of a metaphorical sense. And so maybe that's where our
You said
disconnect
he's
here is.
literally the
I did say that.
human version of the most
And I
He's
agree.
a
I'm
evil.
offended
figurative
that
movement
you
of the
said
devil.
that.
That's okay.
I'm offended you said that you called him the devil because
Anyway,
I've
this is a
done horrible
joke.
things. Like, how is he just out trumping my whole?
This is
Like,
a joke. I could tell already. The setup was just too, and I'm undercutting it. No, I'm undercutting it because my point is not done. You can say all your punchlines in a second. Listen, I think the timeline of him announcing or the rumors rising that he potentially was going to purchase NBC. A lot of people were shocked by that. He has enough money to buy NBC.
Sure.
NBC. So it goes from national broadcast company to
National Broadcast Cosby.
nigga Black Cosby. Like, it goes to a massive platform to push exactly what you already were disagreeing with in that all-right classroom when he was speaking to you. Nobody on that network is going to be sagging, and if they were going to be on their way to jail. He can completely restructure the way you see a culture and do it for the culture his way. That's a lot of power.
Sure.
So yeah, a lot of stuff start coming up.
And it could be, and it's very similar to the way
Stuff that
people
should have been
felt-
addressed a long time ago. Stuff he had been paying women off for all this time culminates into a case.
People talked about what was the Nat
Why?
Turner-
Why?
not the Nat
Timing
Turner
is
movie. What was the
everything.
movie?
Why do it at such a time that's
Birth of a
Nation.
convenient?
People felt that about in Birth of a Nation.
Right, but if he was evil in the first place,
Yeah.
that's when you pursue it. I understand what you're saying with
But as we said
with
earlier,
why the
I
women
can't choose
would
when white
hold
people
off.
care about a situation. I don't have that choice.
Right.
But black women have been doing their job and saying, hey, this dude is trash for a hot second.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that white people suddenly cared and made a case out of it, like,
Well,
I'm glad
don't-
white
no,
people.
You act like 40 black women came out and said he did something to me.
It was a ton of white women, but
There's like 5 black women.
yeah, but they've been the ones that have been.
It is
And
primarily
one of
white
them was
women.
not Camille.
It was primarily white women.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If white culture ever comes to somebody's rescue, it's white women.
Secondly,
Well, second, what's the first
after
they come
white
to?
men.
No, white women have, when it comes to sex and rape and assault, white women, they are, the people who are associated with it are persecuted to the full extent of the law, especially in my home state, Washington.
But didn't Cosby...
The laws
Cosby
are
fit
structured that way.
Right. Generally, usually. And if Cosby had been anybody else, then this probably would have been an uproar a long time ago. But he wasn't. He was the one keeping black people calm. He was the one setting an example of, like, go to college and be a good kid. And it's hard to separate that because, like, I can't watch The Cosby Show anymore. It hurts me physically. But I still watch A Different World. Like, I understand the influence and the importance. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. I understand the importance and the influence that Cosby had. I understand why it's difficult for older generations to be like, what, Cosby? No, that guy was like everybody's granddad. The Jello guy? What is happening?
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because you're saying the Jello guy, oh my gosh. Yeah, he built a public persona that is very contrasting to what has been painted recently. Is it possible at all, maybe it's 0.1%, is it possible that it didn't happen?
That every single one of those women was lying?
Is it possible? He's not saying.
Is there a 0.0001% chance that they were? That there's a higher power, a bigger group, some other company who is saying, here's some chips.
I think
we're
9
gonna take
times
this
out
person
of
down.
10 conspiracy theories tend not because people just aren't that organized and no one can really keep a secret.
Really? Why don't
9
you
times
ask
out of 10
Tuskegee how they feel about that one?
Yeah, the Tuskegee
Why
Airmen.
don't you ask about, hold on, I'm going to go further.
Go for
Here's
it.
my thing about the concept of conspiracy, right? Because I agreed with your definition of bodily autonomy.
Yeah,
It was great. It was
I agree
wonderful.
too.
I understand Nate's point of saying how crazy it is to think of him as the devil when you have someone like Hitler, and that would be way closer to the devil than Cosby. But just because it's a lesser of two evils does not mean that it's less. That it's
not evil. I didn't say it wasn't.
But I understand where you're going with that. However, if we're gonna say that Cosby did it, we can also say there is a percentage chance, as small as it seems, that he did not. And there's two sides to every story, and then there's the truth. And unfortunately, we have seen conspiracies unfold before. We have seen the Freeway Ricky Ross conspiracy unfold, where the journalist who uncovered that mysteriously commits suicide, and that there's a CIA report on his suicide. We've seen these kind of things happen. Conspiracy after conspiracy after conspiracy, especially when it comes to the African American race in the United States. When they bomb Black Wall Street. That's
when
a
they
conspiracy.
took out the Black Panthers with a documented co-intelligence program.
When they
sure did.
When they basically stopped Martin Luther King Jr. All the way to the point where they could have prevented his death, to the point where in 1999, Coretta Scott King was able to get a ruling against the federal government.
She sure did.
And people don't even know that.
Right.
Where she was able to get a ruling that states, because she actually believed that Homeboy was not his killer, and that whatever. The point is that these conspiracies have happened.
Sure.
And have been legitimized.
And this one plays
Took me a second to get that out. Good
This one
God.
plays to the aspect of misogyny. It plays to the aspect of he say, she say. It plays to a point where there's been other documented cases where what they do is they set up congressmen, they have set up people in power. In fact, if you watch Godfather Part 2, remember where the congressman goes and the girl's dead in the...
Which was a movie, but that
the
scene was
movie.
based on something that happened in Boston.
Exactly.
With Whitey Bulger.
Exactly. And so that plays out. Now, I'm not saying Cosby did not do it. I honestly don't know, and I'm actually inclined to believe that he did do something wrong. But
Yeah, I
Nate's
wasn't in the
bringing
room.
up the point of saying
it's an
timing,
avalanche of women saying he did something.
saying
So I get it.
that maybe there's higher powers at play. We don't know. That's what's scary about the world we live in.
That's what hangs a jury.
And
that's what makes a jury say, I can't.
I'll tell you what,
On this one, let's go back 5 or 6 other women that came forward that had a stronger story,
They were stronger.
a much better documented evening, friends that corroborated, and now
didn't
we got
go
it.
back
Now
and
we got to
hang
get.
out
I'm like,
with him.
he's
Didn't
out
go
of
back
there.
and see him
But
later.
this one was like they're just trying to. This is like throwing OJ in jail for stealing his own helmet. This is trying to get somebody for something because he's outlasted the statute of limitations on what he really did.
Sure. But can you blame them?
Blame who?
Anyone who... I feel like people were like, you guys got to just leave OJ alone. Like, it happened now, and now it's time to move on. But I I think that if you have a sense
OJ's
of
innocent.
justice,
According to the court and everything.
yes, sure. But I'm saying, okay, but here I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not stating anything.
Oh,
as
you're
factual.
playing Bill Cosby's advocate?
Sure.
I think
Point being, like,
we have 50 seconds to wrap the show.
We don't.
I can make it quick.
We have what? We have more.
Thank you.
See,
Here's-
I was like, no, we
Well,
have
the timer's like,
Yo, we have more. We have more.
That's how it feels to me.
This week's episode, we gotta go. We gotta keep talking.
The
This is
point
real.
is, if you have a sense of justice, and I'm not the kind of person who's like a law and order by the books kind of. It's not the spirit that dwells within me, but I know that a lot of people
hella
do.
spirits do, based on the ties. Watch the last episode for that.
But my point being is, if that is what drives you, is a sense of justice and law, then when you see someone getting away with something, or even if you think someone's getting away with something, don't you then double down and try as hard as you can to make sure that at least they get some kind of comeuppance, like some kind of jail
course,
time?
that's why Kevin still says immediately after he's announcing his intention to retry the case.
That's why Gutierrez Inez or whatever his name is. Oh wait, no, he got acquitted. Never mind. I guess that officer's just free.
Yeah, I know.
No one doubled down on that one.
No, it's cool. He's done.
Oh, okay.
He's
Okay,
locked
so
So we're asking them to double down in cases
Okay.
where we get off, and then we're asking them not to double down on cases
If it
where
were up to
they get
me,
off.
that
Okay.
dude would be facing the death penalty.
the officer that
Yes,
shot. Okay.
absolutely. He shot a man in his car.
And then
What?
Bill Cosby would be in a chair next to him.
I mean, I don't know. Cosby's old death penalty takes a while to
Judge-
process, but I would like to
judge-
see Cosby die behind bars.
Okay, so that's what you think the penalty fits the crime is, that he dies in jail.
listen, if
Absolutely.
he committed a crime and that crime is some form of rape, let's be honest. Take away Cosby. Let's just call him Bill. And let's make 50 of those women, your mom, your sisters, let's add those in there. How would you feel about Bill at that case? Bill and Andrea is actually your sister, your light-skinned sister that you love so much.
Debrina.
Debrina, exactly. So that's the one where this happened to her.
If Bill Cosby raped Debrina, I'd kill him myself. Now, let's take the opposite end of that spectrum and say Bill is Bill Cosby.
Sure.
And let's say the women are sexual vagrants.
I mean, here's the thing. If Bill is
Let's
Bill
say,
Cosby and rapes my sister,
let's say
Nate,
half of them, have
Sure.
already wrongfully accused a man of rape or sexual assault.
But none of
Wrongfully.
these women have a history of that, do they? That I can recall? I've
Some-
read a lot of
Listen,
their
some do.
stories.
Listen, none of
he's
them.
throwing a hypothetical.
My sister's not involved in this. This is all hypothetical
Okay.
on the spectrum.
All right.
I'm asking you for what is you're the judge. You're Judge Joelle. You're throwing people in jail till they die.
Sure.
So what I'm saying is, what is unequivocally would get me a reaction, which is why he painted that picture that way. He raped your sister, Nate. What would you do? I'm not gonna be talking like this.
Sure, sure.
I'm sorry. What? Who got touched? But let's go the other way. Then what?
Yeah. I mean, we've seen a lot of
Your stance
innocent-
clearly is a woman's a woman. I could care less. Where on the spectrum they last? You're going to hell, jail. You're the devil. Got it.
Well, yeah,
But
too.
a lot of people don't feel as concrete about it as you do.
Sure.
That's why they can look at a gun-toting American licensed and registered with the NRA and say police shouldn't shoot him. Then see the picture of who it was and go, ah.
I understand why he was afraid. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Let's not act like we're only judging in some cases. People are judging Bill Cosby with the same comb as they're judging Philando,
Sure.
the black one. So, to me, this is two different cases. And what the difference is money and power is in one. And that's all I'm acknowledging. If Bill Cosby's case, if you think it's a hung jury and you think in any way it's affected by his celebrity or his lifelong achievements and what he's accomplished, if you think that's affected it at all, first of all, I don't know how they found a jury hasn't been exposed to Bill Cosby. That's of his peers.
They had 12. That's
They-
why it's in Pennsylvania.
if you
It's
say he's-
Amish, 12 Amish.
Right. If you say he's powerful enough to potentially affect, even if it's not direct, indirectly affect a hung jury, then you're also saying that he's powerful enough for all of this to be assembled to destruct that power. You can't say one without the other. I mean, you can, but to me, that's hypocritical.
Here's my stance. the same system did both men dirty, and I can understand and come to terms with that. But I don't care that the system got Cosby, because I believe him to be guilty. I do not believe 60 women came out here and lied on one man. I don't believe that anyone keeps this up for like 20 plus years. Like, I don't buy that.
I have a question for you. This is totally from me asking questions. Why did the women wait so long? That's a real concern.
Sure.
That's a real people are. Well, why didn't they just say anything?
Well, women typically wait because there's a lot of confusion after you've been assaulted. It's not like when a man gets in a fight and afterwards you either feel like, okay, we resolved this issue, or like, F that dude, I gotta go like get him now in some way, I need to turn him over. Like, sexual assault is a personal and terrible thing to have to come to terms with yourself, first admitting that it happened. Am I guilty or not? And then we see the amount of women whose cases are overturned, who even if you go right after and get a kit done and can point out your attacker,
Right.
a lot of times nothing happens. So it's frequent that women are just like, screw it. Like,
That's
I'd rather
unfortunate.
distance myself as much as I can. I mean, I don't want to talk about that, but
so
yeah.
how many of these women got paid out?
I could not tell you off the top of
There's a
my head.
bunch. There's millions of dollars.
And there's a reason for taking that money too. That money can start your life over. That money gives you an opportunity to move far away from the place you were attacked. That money gives
And
you
it comes
space to
and
create
that
new
money
stuff.
gives you conditions too.
Absolutely, it does. Absolutely, but I can't be mad at those women for either like initially taking the money, or B, looking at the money and going like, this, he can still go out there and hurt other people.
Yeah.
And whether you
So I had a conversation. Now by no means am I now. Please be smart enough and intellectually inept,
Capable.
yeah, to understand this talking point, because this is a conversation I had. Okay, I have a friend in Washington State. In
We
Tacoma.
get it. You're from Washington State.
Listen,
Get
no,
over
but
it.
dig this, right? She's my homegirl from Tacoma.
They should really sponsor
She
you.
was raped. Okay? She had a situation where she was at the club. She met a guy. Everything was fun, and it was light, and they got drunk and had a good time. And they went to go eat. Then they went to go back to her house. And then things got a little blurry as far as, passing out type stuff. And she came out of being passed out to them. They were having sex. She was partially okay with it. And then later on, she reflected on it, and she was like, it's messed up because this happened.
yeah.
Yeah, I probably threw it back a couple times, but at the end of the day, I never said yes in the first place. I was okay with just being left alone, him leaving my house, I fall asleep on the couch, and come to find out I had sex. And I was like, so did you pursue that? Like, did you call the police? Did you get a rape kit? Did you do it? She's like, I didn't need a rape kit. I know my vagina, it got beat up. I said, okay. So did you pursue this in the court of law? She says, no, I didn't. I said, why? She said, because I don't want to ruin his life over one night. I said, really? I said, well, where is he now? She's like, I don't know. I've never seen him again. I was like, really? She said, yeah, he had kids and everything. I said, really? Okay. Then I'm thinking with my inquisitive self, what if you saw him more? What if this was your coworker or somebody who was a co-star on a show? Or what if he was a Seahawk? What if you had to watch him every Sunday and people were wearing his name on their back at your house during a party?
Right.
She's like, yeah, no, I would have turned it in because I have to look at it every day. So I can see that. I can apply that to the Bill Cosby thing, right? To where they say, oh, I don't want to because of that. But then her reasoning is shattered by the fact that Bill's everywhere.
Yeah, but that's one victim, Nate. That's not fair to apply to
I can't
everyone
apply it
else.
to everybody. But what I
Sure.
will say is I think that I'm answering your question when you say, why did they wait? I think his relevance grew. I think relevance in regards to that specific title, to that specific interaction with women, made it so relevant. It was like, you know what? I wasn't going to,
No,
and
but
I have my own
you know what?
reasons.
At some point,
but there's
when he was
enough of
80s
us now,
Cosby show,
and,
sure.
and I need to say this.
Solidarity is something that absolutely.
Well,
when
can
people
I
come
say
forward,
something
you have to
also,
feel
though?
alone.
Yeah, so I could see that.
When it comes to the conspiracy theory, can I say something that's sensitive to Nate, but Nate's talked about it before? Nate was accused of rape once.
No, I wasn't accused of rape.
You were accused of something,
I was accused of sexual assault.
a sexual assault.
And it's very
clearly-
important. It's sexual assault. Panties are still on everybody.
Hold on, but can I say why? And it came down because the young lady in question needed an excuse
Yeah.
because of her poor grades.
Yeah, because if you have a hardship, you your grades expunged for this.
And that really came out. And
I've
if her
seen this
friend didn't
before.
come out.
But
and
I didn't know at the time.
I have friends who had a college roommate who did the same thing,
but
like
I
a guy
didn't-
that we
And
all
that's
knew
what-
and
I
hung
didn't
out
know.
with. And that's
Now,
what I'm saying.
not to slander the girl or try to get some stuff to resurface because this thing has already been put to bed, but that was her motivation. But grades never came into question when we were going through our
Of course
court
not.
case.
That's a view.
So I go to Whitman County Court, which is the county that that the situation supposedly happened in, and the judge throws it out. There's women there representing battered women, a battered women organization. And they say for use of the word no, or when you can say or do it, or for your sense of comfortability sexually, please go see them, and they can give you counseling on how to have interactions. But from what we understand, you said you were uncomfortable, or you said you didn't want to do it, and he stopped.
Right.
And that's where this is done.
And he walked out.
But that's
and
the
he
full-
walked
But
out.
listen, and I walked out.
He
Yeah.
walked out, and
Then the school says we want to look at this with a finer tooth comb.
Right, because the school has to do. Okay, so to from the
Say
school's
this,
yeah.
because I'm not just gonna end that where people are like, so did you? So there was complications with how my case was looked at, and this happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
They told me we'll do it in two parts. We'll do the young lady's part, and then 2 weeks later, when your father and legal representation can be there, we'll do your part. Cool. I show up with a notepad to take notes because I'm just listening this day. Somebody isn't able to make it in 2 weeks. We're going to have to do the whole thing today. What about my representation? What about my support?
No, that's bullshit.
And they ran the whole case.
And they ran the whole
That's
case with him
bullshit.
by caught
And-
off guard.
Yeah,
And he could have sued. He could have sued and won a lot of money. This
Still
was-
Absolutely.
could. Still
was
could. We have a
clearly-
huge binder of everything
100%.
transcribed.
100%.
And it has no less than 50 little tags in it for inconsistencies in the different stories.
Yeah.
And I just said, forget it.
Yeah.
But so I didn't even get accused because they don't have this is a school. They can't. You're not gonna. The court already
they
said
can't
it's
do
nothing.
prison or anything,
All
no.
I can do is like get in trouble.
Yeah, they can expel you.
That.
Or suspend
So
you.
they said, well, you'll be suspended. You can come back here at the end of or the next semester or whatever. We appealed it.
Yeah.
They said, all right, fine. They acknowledged all the inconsistencies. Said, there is something wrong with this story. The court did throw it out. You are innocent, and you can come back to school immediately on academic probation at a 3.97 GPA. It
Yes, he did.
I'm like the person who's going to be talking to me about academics is going to have lower grades than me.
Had a 1.7 or something.
Whatever,
Craziness.
but they're just filling in their hours.
Yeah.
My fraternity, the chapter represents multiple universities in the area. So I just talked to my line brother and was like, is it cool at your school? And he was like, man, it is lit. So I called over to them. I was on the phone 2 minutes and got accepted fully with grants and everything to Eastern. So I just went to Eastern.
I can hate that happened to you and understand the course of events. Now, what happened at the end there where they were like, screw your representation and your time to prepare accurately for your
garbage.
case is absolute garbage. That's not how anything is supposed to work. But I can also say that, like, when you walk with a friend through the steps of first saying that you were raped and then reporting it and then having to go through the school, like, it's a whole long process. And initially, anyway, I feel like the school took the right steps. Like after the court case, now we have to decide what should we do? Do we have, because we have a responsibility to protect our students.
Right.
The court has to do without a reasonable, or you can't convict without reasonable doubt, but the school's not the same way.
I had no issue with the school saying, let's look at this with a finer tooth comb. I knew what had happened in real life. I knew what had happened on paper. I knew what the judge had already said. Like, I was like, this is literally, I was to the point where I was like, I don't even know why she's still at this. What in the hell? I don't even see this girl.
Yeah, and I've
And
dealt
then
with
it comes out later,
I don't say girls.
001, something crazy low grades, and was just trying to get, and I was just low-hanging fruit.
Well, I can hate that happened to you and still respect that most women are not lying.
Oh, no, me too. Don't think that makes
I
me
got you.
super subjective in saying that this is why I semi-defended Bill Cosby today. Most of that is because we're doing a talk show and we got to represent all sides of this thing to make it entertaining. Spoiler alert. The other part is
Tupac died.
I can go through what I went through and still say there's definitely something wrong with 60 women saying this particular person did something to me. Everybody not trying to fix their grades.
Right.
Okay? They may have different motivations. It could be money. It could be politics. It could be could. At some point, he's at least
3 rapes in.
He's at least
3 rapes.
I was going to say he's at
Statistically.
least motorboated somebody against their will. He's at least a finger in a butt, like something. 60 women Furthermore, what I don't like, I was working out, and while I was on the treadmill, workout, I was watching some interviews with some of the women, and it was extremely believable. Like, they had won me over. And their stories were all extremely similar, in which, like, which room of the house it would pop off in, how the beverage would present itself, what they would see through the cloudiness was all the same. Like, he had a particular position that they all described. And that's when I was like, golly.
That's real.
You know?
And that's real. And then going to the conspiracy point, the other side is, in 1993, the United States goes to war with Iraq over the testimony of several groups of young refugee girls who speak about attacks and rapes and vicious...
From people in the United Nations, right?
From people in Kuwait at the time, who come to the United Nations and go to Congress and speak on behalf of these refugee camps, and it was heartbreaking. And they turn out to be hired actresses.
Really?
What?
That is a true
I didn't know
story
that.
I did not just make up.
Hired by who?
Hired by, I don't know if I'm really supposed to say, but ties to companies that are run by vice presidents of the United States, possibly, and
Halliburton.
and Kuwait.
Because war makes
companies.
money.
And oil companies. That is that is not my opinion. That is something you can look
If you
right
make
up.
guns, war is big business.
Hell yeah.
And the main girl, the girl who sold it the most, happened to be the daughter of a diplomat it was really, I mean, that's a real thing that happened. So that's why we feel like, as people, we live in the Matrix and we just don't trust anything. Because Philando Castile happens and we're like, well, maybe they set him up. And we get happy when O.J. Simpson gets found not guilty, because it's like, finally one of us wins. And it's just so sad that we live in a world that way, man.
Now, I'm not, I say, we do this whole episode to say, it's not that I feel like Bill Cosby's innocent. He is, or he's a hung jury. But I'm also a hung jury on it. My court of public opinion is hung on this particular case. That's my whole point. I wouldn't go as far as to saying he's the devil. I would say, in regards to 60 women having corroborating stories without having talked to each other and all that, and I don't know if there's been any influence or any power, money, or politics influencing these stories, that something is awry and it's not angelic.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with it. What do you guys think?
Tell us below in the comments.
Put it
below.
in the
Let
comments.
us know. We always want to talk about more.
Let's
There's a
get
lot
it.
more. But we love hearing from you. Please write us, share us, subscribe to us.
And don't be starting out your comment. We love you, Joelle. First of all, no, you go ahead and just say your opinion, and let's chop it up down below.
You can say love me too.
People
That's
love
okay.
us too. People love us too. Okay,
bet.
there's comments.
I bet they love you.
It
I
goes in
bet.
there. DM.
Oh, they slide in.
Oh. Shout out to the DM girls. You know who you are.
You're in there.
What up, Olivia?
Oh, by name. That's what's up. All right, so we're gonna wrap the show. We have other stuff we're gonna talk about. We'll roll it over to next week because this stuff will still be fresh. I've been Mr. Nate Jackson. Please follow me on Instagram, Twitter. Check out my website, natejacksoncomedy.com. Come catch me live. This type of dialogue is heavier than the joy and happiness I want you to experience at a show. This is to just make you think and laugh with a little bit of humor mixed in. But on stage, it's to make you younger, because laughter is 7 years onto your life.
That's what's up. I am Tehran, literally at I am Tehran all across the social atmosphere, and my comedy is actually tragedy. So come check me out Mondays and Thursdays, 10 p.m. at the Laugh Factory. Fridays and Saturdays, 10 p.m. at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach. We will be having a headliners show soon. We will all be coming to a city near you probably pretty soon as well.
Hey guys, I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique, every week at blackgirlnerds.com, every Wednesday at Schmoes Know. If you head over to the Mary Sue right now, you can check out my article on the color purple and recentering black women in that conversation. And then tomorrow, my new article on Bill Quist and how the television show handled her better than the novel American Gods will be on the Mary Sue tomorrow morning.
When are you performing next?
I don't perform.
July 6th through the 9th, Atlanta, Uptown Comedy Corner. Be there if you live in Georgia.
You're going to be performing next week when we make you sing. I'll tell you that.
Headlines are headliners, y'all.
Tanisha, we love you.
Love you, Nene.
Come back.
Right here.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me @KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.